there's a certain openness that it lends to, because you're not looking at how did you dress, how did you do your hair. It just kind of like removes a layer and gets down to like us all just being human together, which is really, I don't know, it's really unique.
Welcome to Experiences You Should Have, your how-to guide for amazing experiences. I'm your host, Gail Manasco, and today I am here with Sandra Etherington, and she has her own business called Family Personalities, and she understands or works to understand different people's Myers-Briggs type, and works to help families communicate with one another and parents parent based on their child's Myers-Briggs personality type. Did I get that right?
You got that right.
I got it right. Of which you can go to familypersonalities.com if you are interested in her services. She will help you out. But today we are going to be talking a little bit about nudity. So for those with kiddos in the car, just know we are talking about nudity. It's not in a sexual way, but we are going to be talking about that because we are talking about Breitenbush hot springs. Am I? What? And Breitenbush hot springs is actually my favorite hot spring I've ever been to, and I love hot springs.
It's the first hot spring I've ever been to.
That was your first?
It was my first one, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be so disappointed when you go other places.
Really?
I know. I bet there's really good ones too. Well, okay, we'll go find cool hot springs. So Breitenbush it's nice. It's really nice.
Cool.
So Sandra and I went together with a group of girls. What was it? A month or two ago? A month ago?
Gosh, time. I don't know.
I don't know. It was fall.
Yes.
And it was cool. Oregon, misty, cloudy.
Oh, yeah. It was cold and rainy.
It's kind of like
drizzly.
That's when you want to go to a hot spring, is when it's cold and drizzly. And I don't know. So Oregon, I mean, it's kind of little granola-y, here, a little hippie. Little bit, but I like that. I think that's great. I like the earthiness of Oregon, and I feel like Breitenbush really encompasses that.
Oh, it really made me want to just go hug a tree.
Oh, yes. And next time, let's hug some trees there.
Nude,
right? Yes. So again, we are talking about nudity, and so we came from Bend, Oregon. It's a 2-hour drive, and this beautiful foresty drive to get there, and it's kind of in the middle. It's just in the middle of Oregon. It's 2 hours from Portland, 2 hours from Bend, and we went together as a girl trip. We were celebrating 2 birthdays.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. I didn't know really any of you. Our mutual friend invited us, and everyone in the group was pretty new to me. I'd met you once before at a dinner party, but I didn't know you well. And as an introvert, I was a little bit nervous for that. It was my first time going to a clothing optional place. I was a little bit nervous about that, but it all turned out great. And now I have a new friend.
Yes!
And I'm here on this podcast.
Now we're podcasting together. So we arrived to Breitenbush, which we had to get reservations well in advance, and we just decided to go for the day. But I'd say the majority of people there are staying at Breitenbush because it's truly a resort and a retreat.
It did seem like that.
But we just went for the day, and so we left early because it opened at 9 a.m. for us to start our day pass. So we left Bend at 7 a.m. And we stopped at Sister's Bakery on the way. Highly recommend.
It was really good.
Oh, so good. So we got to Breitenbush. What were you expecting when you first arrived versus how it was?
That's really hard to say because since I'd never been to a hot springs, I didn't really know what to expect.
Okay.
I don't even remember. I think I had like a blank picture in my mind, and I was just kind of along for the ride, see what would happen.
Yeah. So we had like this forested walk. We had to check in. You check in like the small little tiny cabin and give them your names, make sure you're all paid up. And then we like walked down this forested path.
Which was longer than I thought it would be.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, are we going the right way?
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely a little walk. I mean, it's not too far, but it's not, it's a walk.
bring a flashlight, because on the way back it was dark on that walk.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, we left at night. Bring a flashlight, but in the morning you don't need it. And so we were walking down this little pathway, and we started like past some cabins, or in the trees, or in the woods, and instantly we lost cell service out there.
Yes.
No cell service, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So if your work needs you, they not gonna find you.
No, off the grid.
You are off the grid. And so there weren't just naked people walking around on our walk through the woods. You know, the nudity really comes in later at the soaking pools.
Although I have to say, in my mind, I was just imagining everyone naked everywhere. And when it was lunchtime, I know we haven't got there yet, but you guys had been in the soaking tubs, and I had been off enjoying my massage, which I'll talk about too. But and I was meeting you guys back in the place for lunch, and in my head I was like, are people going to be naked at lunch? And I was just like imagining a whole bunch of bare bottoms on like lunch chairs. I was like, no, people must at least put their robes on. In fact, people get fully dressed for lunch.
They do. They eat clothes, but I'd say the majority of people are nude. So
yeah, I would say 90% of everyone was nude.
Yeah,
if not more.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. So we got up to this like big, like fancy, kind of like rustic lodge. I'm gonna say fancy because it felt kind of fancy, but don't be thinking of like Four Seasons. This is like Oregon fancy.
Yeah, it was totally laid back, like cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods, big kitchen inside. You can go and get tea, and there's a piano, little living room, bathrooms. You can change. There's a library in there.
Yeah, the library was nice. I made use of that.
Oh yeah, I didn't do a whole lot in the library. I just was so excited to soak and just be naked. I
made one of us.
I was very excited just to shed the clothes. Like, no, I'm not a model. I got stretch marks. I have a mom bod, so I'm going to say that right now.
Hey, everyone in our group had a mom bod. We were a group of moms.
We were a group of moms.
And I'll say, going in, I had I wasn't really sure what to expect. I feel like I'm someone who's fairly comfortable with nudity, but since having kids, I've gotten a little more self-conscious about my body. And for sure, I was like, oh, nudity, I don't know. And our mutual friend, when she texted me about it, Jessica, I'm so glad she did, because she said, you can wear a swimsuit and no one will judge you. You cannot wear a swimsuit and no one will judge you. It's totally up to you what you feel comfortable with.
100%. You do not have to be nude.
And it took the pressure completely off. And I woke up that morning feeling a little bit body self-conscious, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear the suit so that I don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then when I got there and we were all sitting in the pool together and everyone was just so comfortable, and I saw, oh wait, it's not like everyone here has like a model body.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like a normal human body. I don't know if I was expecting that like everyone's a supermodel from LA, or like all the guys spend 12 hours in the gym every day or what. But it was just like, oh no, everyone here has a normal body.
Yeah, completely normal.
Beautiful human body.
Right.
And then, spoiler alert, halfway through the day, when we had to change back into our swimsuits and it was kind of cold and rainy, I didn't want to put my wet, cold suit back on, I decided, hey, I'm going to join with the nudity. And I did it. I took it. I didn't take it off. I just didn't put it on.
Well, right. Yeah.
And it was fun. It was freeing.
So you did see that as fun?
Yeah. I did enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting there in the Oregon wilderness, soaking in hot springs, and no one cares.
It was beautiful and misty and foggy, and you're just sitting there in your gorgeous body.
Yeah, sit there with your gorgeous body in a pool, chat if you want to chat, except for the silent pool. There's multiple pools. There's a group of 3 pools in one area, and they get incrementally hotter. So, like if you're coming with kids and you're cool with kids seeing a lot of nudity, then you can start the first pool, which is a little bit cooler. And then there's this middle pool where we hung out a lot, I feel like. And it's it's a very natural pool. I've gone to hot springs before that look like swimming pools, and this does not look like that. You've got these rocks and mud and
Yeah, it almost looked like you were in like where a waterfall comes down into a beautiful pool in the middle of the woods, except instead of being in freezing cold like fresh spring water, you were in like nice hot,
right, like
relaxing
104-degree water.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice. I mean, it's hot. It was nice. It's what you want on a cold Oregon day is a hot spring. And I know it was just fun. Like we were all just kind of chatting in there, talking about being moms, talking about being wives and work and all the different things. And then I don't know. I love chatting with strangers, you know?
Yes, I know you do.
Yeah, you know. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm the E in the Myers-Briggs type. And
Gail was making friends with every naked person there.
I just, I see a naked person or I just see a person. I want to chat with them. I got to know their story. I got to know their name. And I met the coolest woman there. Her name is Adeline.
Yes, I remember her.
Yeah, she was a doula. And I mean, she was just so cool.
She was. I was really glad that you struck up conversation with her because it was fun.
It was pretty fun because we kept on seeing each other throughout the day and chatting more. And I felt like Adeline was like my personal like challenger. And Adeline was just like, hey, you should go try the cold shower.
Oh, the cold shower.
The cold shower. I'm like, I don't want to take a cold shower. I'm nice and hot. Who wants to go take a cold shower?
And how cold was it? Because I didn't do the cold shower.
Oh, it was cold. But she challenged me, and if you challenge me, I will rise to the challenge. I mean, sometimes we'll see. But for this, I felt like I needed to do it. And I've been to Breitenbush before, and I completely ignored the cold shower at that time. But this time, I went, and she told me, like, don't just get in for a second and get back out. Like, stick with it. And it did. Thank you, Adeline, if you're listening. And then when I got back into the pool, you could feel everything like tingling. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like, oh man, this is how you soak all day. You soak, you get freezing, and then you soak, you get freezing, soak and freezing, soak and freezing. And that's, I mean, you can soak the entire day doing this method.
And did it almost feel refreshing? Because after a while you get pretty hot in there. Was it nice to like cool off a little bit?
It was nice. And then I felt like I could just hang out some more, get to know our friend Adeline. But then Adeline came up with a new challenge. She said, you need to go try the silent pool. Ooh. Yeah, put an extrovert in a silent pool. It's torture. It's absolutely torture. So I'm like, fine, I'll go. And I've been to Breitenbush before, and I've avoided the silent pool. Like, I just don't want to be silent in a hot spring. It sounds terrible. But I'm like, fine, Adeline told me that I should do it.
Well, and the silent pool had the best view.
Yeah, it did. It was a really nice view.
Yeah, you could hear the little like creek down below, and when you looked up at the mountain, there's just kind of, or maybe it's more of a hill, but just the beautiful trees up. Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous.
It was really nice. And I went over and I derobed. You derobe before the pool, and you hang up your robe.
Be careful not to bend over in someone's face if you are nude.
Oh.
What? I'm sorry, I just couldn't stop thinking of that. I was like, oh, don't bend. Don't want to give anyone that view. And then the other thing that was really uncomfortable for me was when we're all sitting. Am I the only one that thinks of these things? We're all sitting in like the hot tub space. It was the one where there's 4 tubs in a circle, and they are 4 different temperatures, and you can kind of rotate around.
Yeah.
And when you get really hot, you kind of sit up out of the pool with just kind of your feet dangling in.
Yeah.
And I could, when I didn't have my suit on, I couldn't stop thinking when I'd sit up, like, oh, keep the legs closed, because all of a sudden your vagine is like right in the eye line of everyone else sitting in the pool. Gail's got this look on her face like, what?
It didn't even occur to me. So I'm like, well, it's kind of like an elbow here. I feel like...
It totally is, but it was new to me, and I was very conscious of it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, no, it was a very freeing experience just to let the clothes down. If you want, you can totally wear a swimsuit.
Yes.
But you can go there, be nude. There's absolutely no judgment. But I've got to say that silent pool, that was hard. Like that was really, I mean, it was beautiful, but it was hard. Like as I stepped into the pool, there was another nude couple in there. And then like I started to say the hi. But then I stopped like mid H and I'm like, oh, I can't talk to them. It's a silent pool. And so we all just soaked there.
How long did you stay in that one?
In silence.
I came back from something. I don't remember what I was doing when you were already in there. So I don't know how long you had been in there before I joined you.
I was there maybe like 15 minutes, which that was all I could bear to be in the silent state.
That's impressive. I'm very impressed. I have a very impressed look on my face.
Oh yeah, that is very impressed. Very, very impressed. I mean, I would like a gold star, a little medal. I am a millennial, and it was very awkward because I wanted to know these people. I'm nude with them in a pool, and they're just doing their thing, and I'm like, but who are they? Where are they from?
And see, I'm the total opposite of you because I'm like, we're nude in a pool. This is so awkward. I'm just going to zip these lips. I'm not going to talk to anyone. It's so awkward.
But I did it. Thank you, Adeline, for the challenges throughout the day. It was really great. But you know what we have to talk about when we talk about Breitenbush?
What?
Is the food.
I didn't even write that in my little notes. The food was one of the best parts.
The food is so good. They make these incredible vegetarian meals. But if you are vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, you can let them know and they'll have like a special, they'll like mark the special ones that are dairy-free. My gosh, the food was good.
It was so good. And being vegetarian, I always appreciate when a place does a really nice, healthy, balanced vegetarian meal that I don't have to cook myself. Oh, it was really nice. I just felt well nourished, like I was nourishing my soul. I was nourishing my body. Everything. It was a really nice experience.
And I mean, I feel like today in like our normal days, we're in front of computers all day. We're parenting our children. We're tending to our family. We're just kind of like go, 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 go. And then here, all we had to do was soak and eat. And you got a massage.
That's right. I did.
Let's talk about this massage.
Okay, let's talk about the massage. So if you want to do a massage, they have a little masseuse place there, like a little cabin and I think it looked like they had 2, maybe 3 masseuses going at once. You have to book ahead. They do fill up. So I booked about a week ahead and they had only 2 time slots left when I booked. And then when we got there, we asked about other time slots and they didn't have any left. So you definitely have to make sure you book ahead. I can't remember the exact cost, but it was what you would expect for a massage. They do 90-minute increments, and you show up when it's time, and you're already naked with a robe because you've been soaking in the pool. So you don't have to do the whole weird like get undressed. Where do I put my clothes? Got to hide my underwear. Am I the only one that does that? Got to hide your underwear under everything else.
I put the underwear somewhere.
Yeah, even in the gynecologist office, even though they can see everything, I still feel like I have to hide my underwear.
Yeah.
Sorry, gynecologist fresh on my mind because I was there today. So you get there, you go in, you derobe, and my massage experience was subpar, but I'm not going to blame Breitenbush or the masseuses. I'm going to blame my cold. I had a little cold going on. I was mostly over it. But you know how when you roll over onto your stomach with your face down, all that congestion just like comes to the front? And it's like this. And so I asked her if I could just like tilt my head to the side, but she was afraid she was going to hurt me. And so she didn't want me to do that. So I had like 5 minutes of a massage like this. And then I was like, I can't do this. And so then I flipped over onto my back, and the rest of the massage, she was just massaging my front.
Yeah. And that's not the best part of the massage.
No. So I didn't really get, the full experience. But that is available there, which is awesome. And they do other stuff too, like cranial sacral. I'm not really into all that. I'm not quite hippy dippy enough for that. But they do offer some other services. Okay,
I've always wanted to try cranial sacral, but I'm not completely sure what it is.
I'm not either. I know that cranial means head.
Yeah, I got that.
Sacral what is that, like your soul? Your
Uh,
sacral, like
or is it?
we're both pointing to like our lower back.
Yeah.
Sacrum.
Yeah, is it?
That must be what it comes
Maybe. I don't. Could be. We'll see. I don't know, but you know, I will try. I will. I think why not? You know, and they have these yoga classes. They do lots of. They'll do chanting, kirtans if you're into like chanting in Sanskrit. I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have like whole themed weekends.
They do.
There was one that was like yoga, dancing, something or other. And
Maybe
I was
like ecstatic dance or something. Yeah, lots of like heart and warming. I mean, this is a place where you're going to get in touch with your soul.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're going to sing. I mean, if you want, you don't have to do anything, but
you have to have a little bit of hippie in you to go to this place. A little bit. You don't have to be full on hippie. I'm not full on hippie, but you gotta have a little bit of hippie in you.
I mean, I definitely got some hippie in me. I do. I've got hippie. I really appreciate earthy places that are clean. Like this is a very
totally
clean. I mean, there's these 4 spiral pools, and they're small spiral pools, and each one gets hotter. So they've got lots of pools there, and they clean those every single day while everybody's having lunch.
Yeah, I hope so. Our bare tushes are on them.
Mm-hmm. But there's natural hot springs out there where no one's cleaning them, you know. Whereas Breitenbush, like they're going through, they're cleaning. You can feel really good about this experience. I don't know, and I appreciate clothing optional hot springs because I feel like when you go to like a resorty hot spring and everybody's in their swimsuits, it just doesn't feel like it's hot springy enough, you know?
Not hippy dippy enough for you.
No, I need the hippie. I want the vegetarian meals. I want the nudity. I want someone to be chanting in a corner or I don't know. I just think that's.
You want to meet the doula?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I had a doula, you know.
I did too. Okay, maybe I'm more than just a little hippy dippy.
We both had doulas.
I just don't like to admit it.
Yeah, we got the hippie factor going on. Yeah, I mean, it's just a space that I guess makes you appreciate your body, you know, and feel comfortable in your own skin, even as a mom. And I'd say, yeah, in my 20s, I felt way more comfortable, you know, just laying out in the sun or whatever. But
oh yeah, I mean, it's easy to feel confident.
Right, when you're 20, yeah, sure, you know. You want me to pose for an art class? Fine, yeah, no problem.
Have you done that?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Maybe that's another experiences you should.
Yeah,
have
yeah, maybe another episode. You know, sorry, Mom. Yeah, no, I did that in college, and you know, it was a good way to earn money and learn to feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, with a lot of people staring at you.
But you know what? When I went around and looked at everybody's like, you know, drawings, many times like they're working on an elbow, a knee, and I'm like, it's not a sexual thing, and that's kind of how. I mean, that is how the hot spring is. It's not
it did
a
not
sexual,
feel sexual at all. No,
and no sexual activity is allowed there.
Oh gosh, I would hope not.
Oh yeah.
Talk about awkward. Would you talk? So if you saw that, would you start talking to that couple?
You know, I would let them be. You know, I would just let them be,
know when to be silent.
Or maybe when they finish. You know, I don't. Right? I don't. You know,
you just walk away.
We don't want to interrupt them in the moment.
That's true.
You
Good
know,
point.
But they clearly would. You know, are really into what they're doing and each other, and they might be really cool people to talk to, and you might have something in common with them.
Fair point.
Right? But
says the extrovert.
But it was just a really nice day, and I really enjoy digital detox. I have emails coming into me all day long. I have projects due every day, and just to take a day where no one could reach me. I mean, we didn't even have self-service on the drive out. We immediately lost cell service maybe 30 minutes into our drive.
Mm-hmm.
So no cell service, no Wi-Fi. I couldn't respond to any emails. My out of office was up for the day, and it felt so great.
My parents were watching my kids. I told them, if you have an emergency, too bad, can't call me.
Well, now Breitenbush does have a landline, so if there was an emergency, they could have called, but it would need to be an emergency.
Yes, and then you can drive, what was it, like 10 minutes down that road
Maybe
to the
20
nearest little
to,
town?
yeah, Detroit, Oregon. Yeah,
and
you
there
can
you can
cell
get cell
service
service.
there. Yeah.
If you need to, but don't.
Right. But I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
That was a problem. I was going to say on my list of what to bring next time, like maybe some sort of sedative that we can like stick in your butt. Because we had to like drag her out of there. She was like, I think I just want to live here. And we were like, but your family loves you. You have to go home, Gail.
But they could live there with me, and we can eat there, and we could work there. I mean, there are people who live there, and you can volunteer there or work. I'm not exactly sure how that works. That'd be a fun interview if you lived at Breitenbush. I mean, commune living doesn't sound so bad, you know. I mean, I don't want to share my husband, but
is it like that at Breitenbush?
Probably not. I don't know.
You don't
I
seem
don't
very
know.
Convinced.
But probably not.
Okay.
You know, but who knows? I can't speak for them. But I love it that you can live there, you could work there, you could work on the meals, you can volunteer, you can I don't know, you don't need to leave. You can get your exercise there, you can get your yoga there, you can get all your food there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do they have a school there? I don't know. Can you bring your kids? Can you could homeschool your kids? I guess you might need Wi-Fi for that.
They'll learn all about the human body.
Right. You get a lot of textbooks, you know. I guess online school would not be an option there. I don't know.
No.
But
unschool.
Yeah, unschool.
You've heard of unschooling, right?
Wait, unschooling? Is that the same as homeschooling?
No.
No?
It's where you have no curriculum. Your child leads the charge. You could totally do that at Breitenbush. It's the most hippie form of schooling or unschooling that exists.
Okay, now what if the child doesn't want to learn math? Do they not learn math?
Well, there will be something else they want to learn that they'll need to use math for, and it's supposed to become the motivation to learn the math.
But would they?
I don't know. I'm not saying I do unschooling, but
right,
I really like the idea of it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's interesting. Well, maybe, let's go live at Breitenbush, and we can do...
Don't drag me with you.
No, we're not.
We're not for a day.
We're not going to live at Breitenbush, and then we can do our yoga. Someone else is cooking for us.
That is... Okay, I'm sold. Let's go.
3 meals a day.
Okay, I'm in.
And delicious food. I mean, no more grocery shopping, no meal planning, no cooking. Mm-hmm. All you gotta do is soak. I guess if you're working there, you're working. But what a nice place to work.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you could just be off the grid there.
Totally.
Doesn't that sound fun?
No. Yes.
And then all the new people that you would meet.
Oh.
I mean, you have all these people that are coming to stay for a night, a week.
It really would be interesting to stay overnight there and get more of a feel for who's there and what type of people come stay at Breitenbush.
Now, Adeline, she takes a trip there every year, and she stays for a week. Mm-hmm. So that's a solid week of no cell service, no Wi-Fi. She is just hanging out. And it was really interesting when I talked to her, where she wanted to take what she learned at Breitenbush home, where she would walk more to places, take the time to think about the meals she's eating, and eating healthy, taking that time to, I don't know, just do nice things for your body and your soul and your mind and
self-care.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like time is so hard right now. I mean, we both have littles, and time is, I got a podcast, I work, all time, there's no time.
Yeah.
And just to be able to take a little bit of time.
It's totally for yourself.
Is so nice.
It was a really nice break.
It was really great. And we were seriously only there for a day, and it made such an impact.
It did, yeah.
So we've talked about the nudity. We've talked about the food. We've talked about the massage. Oh, the cold plunge.
Oh, yeah. So you did the cold shower, which
Yeah.
I did not do, but we both did the cold plunge.
Yeah, so there's this group of spiral tubs that get hotter, and then they've got this one little cold plunge pool that's like filled with cold water.
Yeah, it's like ice. It's like going in the Arctic Ocean. Well, I've never been in the Arctic Ocean, but if you were to go in the Arctic Ocean, I imagine that's what it would be like.
Right. I mean, have you ever done one of those like polar bear plunges?
Yeah. Yes, I have, but it's been a long time.
Okay. See, I'm always too chicken to do a polar bear
Really?
plunge. Yeah, I don't
You do
want
all
it.
these adventures,
I know.
but that's what holds you back.
But yeah, the cold. I don't like to be cold. I just don't wanna. But yeah, Adeline again encouraged us to do the cold plunge.
Yeah, I did it first before we had met Adeline. And
Okay.
I just did the quick in and out. I was just like, whew, I didn't even feel, my body didn't even register the cold by the time I had already gotten out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, that was really cold. And then trying to get back into the hot pool, like you described it after the cold shower as being like a cool tingly sensation. For me, it felt like my skin was burning off. So I pulled my foot back out of the water and I was like, I'm going to stay out here for a while until my body warms back up and then I'll get in the hot pool.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I did the cold plunge. I did it.
How many seconds would you say? Didn't we all count for you?
I don't know. Maybe it was like 5 or something. But it was more than a quick in and out because Adeline said I couldn't do an in and out.
Yeah, you definitely stayed in there and we all cheered for you as we came out.
I know. It was a monumental moment.
It was triumphant.
It was. It went in my diary that night. No, I don't have a diary. But
It should have.
It should have. If I had a diary, that would have been. Well, the podcast is kind of like a diary. Yeah, it was a big moment. It was a big moment coming out of the cold plunge victorious and back into the hot water.
It's very energizing for sure.
It was pretty nice. And then we went and we got to hang out a little bit. A girlfriend of ours got a migraine while we were there.
If you are susceptible to headaches, which I am also, make sure you are prepared for one. Make sure you stay very hydrated. So I had my big water bottle with me and I was refilling it every chance I could and just chugging it. And the downside is you got to pee all the time. But being dehydrated is going to trigger a headache if you're prone to headaches, or even if you're not, maybe. Mm-hmm. Bring whatever painkillers work for you for headaches. I took some as mine was coming on at lunch, and then my headache subsided, thankfully, and it didn't turn into something bad. Our poor friend, bad. It was really coming on strong, but luckily she was able to go away into the library, which is super quiet, which is a great space for if you're getting a headache, you can kind of like the quiet and the calm. And she laid down, she took some Advil, she laid down for a little bit, and then she was able to bounce back a little bit later and enjoy the rest of the day with us.
And something interesting about the library is that if you didn't want to be in the noisy lunchroom, that you could eat your lunch in the library and have like a silent lunch. So if you want to go on a silent retreat, you can hang out in the silent pool, you can have your meals in silence. I mean, a silent retreat sounds terrible, and I will never sign up for one, ever. I mean, that's how you torture me, is put me in a room of silent people.
With cold pools.
With cold pools. But if you do enjoy chatting and getting to know people, that's available to you there.
Yes.
It's really fun. And then, how fun is it when you meet a stranger and you're both naked?
I think you're expecting me to say so fun, but that's not my first reaction. It was pleasant.
It's an icebreaker, right?
Sure, I guess.
You're already vulnerable. You're there, you're naked, you're vulnerable. Now I feel like you can get past the weather.
Sure.
You can like have a conversation because you're both nude.
That's true. There's like a certain openness that it lends to, because you're not looking at how did you dress, how did you do your hair. It just kind of like removes a layer and gets down to like us all just being human together, which is really, I don't know, it's really unique. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need makeup. You're an organ. You don't need I mean, you don't need anything. You just be you.
Yeah, you wouldn't want makeup anyway. You just sweat it off.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. Yeah, I know. I don't even know how to put it on.
Makeup.
I'm so
I was just texting my friend the other day. She was like, "Oh yeah, I got my whole face on. I put on bronzer." I was like, I barely even know what bronzer is or how to apply it."
It's like, well, I don't have time. I want, like, when I get up in the morning, I just want to get up and, like, get out the door, as quick as possible, which means just throwing on the clothes, brushing the teeth, doing whatever is absolutely necessary, getting my kid dressed and, like, out. I don't have time. I'm lucky if I brush my hair. I don't know.
My children are lucky if I brush their hair.
Yeah, and I roll into work and I have like 4 cups of coffee. And then try to remember what happened that morning. But yeah, Breitenbush is a great kind of little hippy dippy, amazing gem in the middle of the forest where you can just kind of get away. Self-care. So now we're on to the logistics part of the show, because part of experiences you should have is giving you a how-to guide to make it happen. So if you want to know how to go to Breitenbush Hot Springs, well, you should probably fly. If you're not from Oregon, then you should probably fly to Oregon, unless you want to take a road trip and go on a hot spring road trip, which would be super fun. I would fly into Portland, PDX. It's a major airport that you could fly into, and you'll need to rent a car and drive. Now, we went in the fall, which was nice for the roads. Maybe late spring would be fine, but winter driving there?
I literally just drove through there today because I had to go to Portland and back today, and there was a lot of snow. The roads were fine, but you never know when a storm is going to roll in.
Okay, was it icy at all?
It was okay. It was during the middle of the afternoon. So.
Do you have like 4-wheel drive?
Yes, 4-wheel drive, snow tires, the whole shebang. I mean, we live in Bend.
Yeah, right. So if you do want to go have a winter retreat, you've got to make sure you're comfortable driving in icy winter conditions. So I would recommend a like fall or late spring trip. I don't think I'd want to go there in the summer.
I don't even know. I don't know. How warm does it get there?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Oregon gets hot in the summer. I don't really want to soak if I'm hot. Maybe you want to sit in the cold plunge in the summer. Or you can go for like yoga and classes and the food.
Sure.
But if you really want to enjoy the hot spring, kind of time it with some cool weather but not icy roads. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a
tangent. Wildlife.
Oh, right? We saw deer?
Yeah, and the fall is a really great time to see deer in Oregon too.
And we saw a little bunny hopping too. It kind of felt like
super awesome.
We're like in a Disney movie or something. But minus the nudity. I guess that wouldn't be in a Disney movie. So kind of like a nude
Bambi?
Nude Bambi? A nude Bambi scene. You got nude people.
Without the forest fire.
Right. Yeah, no forest fire. I mean, that area can get fires in the summer.
Yeah.
August.
Another reason not to go in the summer.
Yeah, don't go in the summer. Yeah. So fall or spring. And you got to book this in advance. I mean, I know there's plenty of you who are not planners, but you got to be a planner for this. If you want to get just even a day pass to go there, I think we booked that like 3 weeks in advance for even just to go for the day. They really restrict the amount of people that are coming because they want it to be a pleasant, non-crowded experience.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm really glad they did that because it wasn't crowded at all, and it would be really frustrating if you had to wait to get into the pools or anything like that. Just squish in and like be touching people when you're nude. There was none of that. There's plenty of space for everyone.
Right. And so you want to book in advance, and if you're going to stay the night, you even have to book that even further in advance. The weekends really fill up, so if you want to stay the night a midweek, you're going to have a better shot. They've got all sorts of different types of cabins, and they've got off-peak rates, in-peak rates, and if you want to stay there talking costs is going to be on the very low end, $75 a night up to $169 a night. But that includes your soaking, meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, yoga, your classes, time in the library. I mean, it's like an all-inclusive.
That's an incredible price
while you're
for all
there.
that.
Whereas if you're going for a day pass, it's on a sliding scale of $23 to $39. So you can kind of pick your own price.
I mean, you can spend that on lunch alone.
Yeah.
And lunch is included.
Well, no, lunch is separate
Just
for the
kidding.
day pass. Yeah. So meals are on a sliding scale as well. And I think we paid about $20 a person for lunch.
Okay.
So we're easily paying maybe like $60 or $50-$60 to spend a day there and have lunch there. But just for a little bit more, you could stay the night and get breakfast and dinner, and then, I mean, who needs to leave?
You don't, that's clear.
It's so wonderful. Oh my gosh, you don't even have to go back to real life. You can just stay and be a hippie.
Like I said, we had to drag her out.
In the woods. And they have a piano. They have a piano in the living room.
Yes, you did serenade us at the very end.
It was really nice. If you're a piano player, bring some sheet music. And they don't like loud banging, but something nice, light, soft. Maybe like New Agey, or maybe Ludovico Einaudi, or, something like that. Yeah, really, really lovely. Really lovely little room. But we are talking about logistics here. Now, if you want to bring your kids, you can bring your kids, but if they are under 12, they must be supervised by a parent. And you've got to be okay with your kid seeing lots of nudity. Again, this is a very like a nude podcast. Oh man, we should have done the podcast nude.
Oh, that would have been ultimate.
Right? Oh man.
You would have had to wipe down the seats. I don't know. This is making me really uncomfortable right now imagining it.
Okay, no, we're clothed for the podcast, but I mean, how would you feel? Would you bring your kids to Breitenbush?
The nudity wouldn't bother me for my kids. I mean, I've taken my kids in locker room and whatnot, but honestly, I would feel, because it's such a calm place and my kids are not of the age to be calm and quiet, I would have felt uncomfortable taking them at the age they are, because I think they would want to splash in the water and they'd want to like run around and make a lot of noise. And personally, I have a hard time with that. I'm always worried about what other people are thinking and like bothering other people. So I wouldn't have brought my kids at the age they're at, but maybe when they're a little older,
have a little maturity.
More,
Yeah. Agreed. I think right now my kid would be a little bit. If you really just want to get away there and kind of use it as a self-care retreat, then I wouldn't want to bring her. But maybe, I don't know, maybe another year or two.
Well, and there were no kids there when we were there. Maybe it's a different vibe on other days, other times.
Yeah, maybe the weekends.
Yeah.
Maybe you probably see some more kids on the weekends. But we were there, on a Friday?
Yes.
And it was chill. Like, it was
super chill.
It was very chill. At some points, like, we owned the entire pool.
Yes.
And
Well, maybe people were going away because we're being those moms.
Right, I know. Yeah. Wow. And so let's just, now I like to talk about what if you have limited mobility or if you're in a wheelchair. It's something I talk about on each episode. And I've got to say, it was definitely like a long walk in, but if you're in a wheelchair, you could have done that.
Yeah, the walk from that first place from where you park into like the main lodge would have been fine for a wheelchair.
Yeah, but the thing is, the pools, there's no lifts to get into the pool. So you would need to have help getting into the pool. The pools did have nice sturdy railings to get in. So if you're comfortable using a railing, but if you're staying the night there, some of the cabins are kind of far away from where you need to go. So maybe if you're not in a wheelchair, maybe you have limited mobility and you can't walk decent distances. I mean, it's not a mile, but it's still a distance. So you just have to keep that in mind. And if you have questions, you can call Breitenbush and you can ask them. Now, they'll ask you to leave a message, and if they don't return your call, then you can keep on trying and then just say that you're trying to you can click an option if you want to go like same day or the day before. They have some last minute passes available. Then you can actually get someone on the phone and ask them your questions.
That's so funny. That's so their vibe, though, you know? Like, think about people who would want to, like, live at hot springs. Of course, they'd be the type that would just be like, leave a message. We'll get back to you sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, if you do need to get in touch with them, you can. There is a way. So tips, make sure your boss knows, your family knows that you're going to be out of office.
Mm-hmm.
No one can contact you. No Wi-Fi. Now, I want to talk about what to wear when you're there. Because if you do plan on being nude, you want to be able to derobe quickly. You don't want to be like wearing jeans or something in between the pools. And I had a robe and I'm nude underneath, and it's kind of like I didn't want to be nude in between the pools because that's not how it is. You're nude for the pools, and I didn't want to flash people.
Well, and it was also cold.
It was cold, but even though I was fine being nude in the pool, I didn't want to flash someone on the way to the pool.
It just felt wrong.
Is that weird? So I wore a towel that had Velcro on it, like a wraparound towel with Velcro. And
that was very nifty.
And then a robe over it. Mm-hmm. So I felt like I'm being decent where I need to be decent. But then fully nude when you're in the pool. I guess it doesn't matter. But
yeah, and I just had like a big, I don't know, it wasn't fleece, but just that kind of material robe from like TJ Maxx or something that my mom got me a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And that worked pretty well.
Yeah, so bring a robe, flip-flops.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be, putting on socks or lace-up shoes. Bring some flip-flops.
Yeah, and your water bottle.
Water bottle. And it better not be a plastic water bottle. Like you bring a reusable, refillable water bottle.
Yeah, well, plastic's okay, but not like a throwaway.
Not like a Nestle whatever. Yes. Like bring a reusable water. We are at a hippie place after all. We're reducing our single-use plastics. And bring that water bottle. There's places all over to fill up your water.
Mm-hmm. All over the place.
All over there. Yeah. So stay hydrated. Maybe bring some Advil. But they did have some there for our friend Callista.
Yes.
They had Advil there. But if, you need your medication or something, you are pretty out there. And Detroit, the closest city, is not... it's not even a city.
Yeah,
it's
I wouldn't call that a city.
A town.
I'd call that a bridge and a store.
Yeah. Okay. So there's not much there in Detroit. Gorgeous, though. Let's see. Robe, flip-flops, when to go, Wi-Fi, kids. I don't know. Any other tips that you think our listeners would find?
No, I think you covered it all.
Oh, that's exciting. So start planning, book your trip to Breitenbush. Book it way in advance, especially if you want to stay the night. And stay the night. Move there. Live there.
Gail will be there to greet you when you get there.
Come on. We can connect as humans again and just talk to each other face to face and soak and
breast
eat.
To breast.
Breast to breast.
Vagine to vagine.
Yeah, we're doing this. We are doing this. Breitenbush. It is quintessential Oregon, wouldn't you say?
Oh my gosh, totally.
When you picture Oregon, I feel like Breitenbush is what the majority of people out there picture.
You're in the redwoods. It's a little cold and chilly. It's hippy dippy. It's everything.
Yeah. So go enjoy Breitenbush, and then after Breitenbush, you have some options if you want to extend your stay in the area. If you're coming back. If you're coming back towards Bend, you can veer off and go down a way that's towards like Clear Lake, and you can go see Sahaley Falls or Coosa Falls. And we did an episode on that. If you want to learn about a really cool waterfall trail there, go back and find that. Or you can go the other direction and you can hit up the Oregon coast, and you could go visit one of my favorite tiny little towns on the coast that most people just drive through. And it's the coast, not the beach, but it's called Yachats. And I highly recommend going to Yachats during whale season. And I did an episode on Yachats as well. So go and listen to those episodes if you are now planning your Oregon hippie vacation. Now there, you're probably not going to see nudity, but, you never know, you know? You never know when nudity strikes.
You never know. Always
Right?
be ready for it.
Right? But if you go to Breitenbush, you will have your opportunity. Well, I think that's our show.
Thank you for having me. This was my podcast debut.
What?
It was so much fun. Let me plug myself really quick.
Yeah. Plug away.
If you're interested in the whole personality thing, follow me. Family Personalities is my handle on Instagram, and I am going to take my own little foray into podcasting in the spring.
What?
So if you're interested in hearing kind of a chatty podcast, casual, about families and personality type, hit me up. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my website, which is in the show notes, and
and go check out Experiences You Should Have. The show notes on experiencesyoushouldhave.com.
Oh yeah, this is Gail's podcast. Do her stuff too.
Yeah, but click on episodes, and you will see Sandra's information there, her Instagram handle, everything there, as well as everything that we talked about today and more. So definitely go there. And follow us on Instagram too, Experiences Podcast. And we are a growing podcast. I put a lot of time and money into this podcast.
She does. She was just showing me all her cool gadgets.
I know. I just got a Zoom H6 and I'm so excited about it. So I am totally audio geeking out right now. But the biggest and best thing that you could do right now to help me out is to tell someone about this podcast. So get on the social media, get on Instagram, TikTok. I don't even know how to do TikTok.
You're sounding really old. Get on the social media.
Yeah, get on the social media.
TikTok.
Okay, TikTok. Oh yeah, that sounded kind of cool that I said TikTok. But yeah, go wherever you connect with people online and tell them about experiencesyoushouldhave.com, and then go be offline and go be nude at Breitenbush, because that's just amazing. And thank you. And until our next adventure, stay tuned to Experiences You Should Have.